I am so excited to be here. Every single one of you that is tuned in right now, I just want to honor you with all of my heart because you are choosing to feed the right wolf. Just by being here today means that you are choosing to feed the right wolf.
So, guys, I asked Brian if I could do the honors of introducing Susanna as well. And Susanna went through a major metamorphosis. And I know your talk is called Fractured to Fabulous.
I suppose my story is one much like many of yours, but one that has been filled with challenges. And I'm really lucky to be alive here, howling in front of you today. I have been there. You are not alone. If you are suffering from depression, if you are suffering from that feeling of being so low, so desperate, feeling like you're a failure, like there is no way out, I have been there before, and I'm telling you this because there is light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I am living proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Radiant being of light. So, guys, I asked Brian if I could do the honors of introducing Susanna as well. I promise, Brian, I'll let you introduce the next person. I give you my word.
How are you, man?
Thank you so much. So, my good friend Susanna Kennedy is a very special friend of mine, and I seem to know a lot of these people because I suppose we work in similar circles. But I met Susanna in 2013 at a huge event that was called the Success Summit. And from the moment I met her, I was like, wow, who's this magnificent, radiant being? Just an incredible soul with a big, big heart. And then she disappeared. She just disappeared. And I was like, we were supposed to be doing things and putting things on. And then I bumped into her at Woolworths in Sea Point a couple of years later. And she was looking beautiful, but with no hair. She'll tell you why. No hair. I mean, she looked like Sinead O'Connor. And I was like, and she came up and said, Robin, how are you? And I'm like, who are you? I don't know you, because she has this long, beautiful dark hair. And suddenly there's this gorgeous lady with no hair looking at me, and I'm going, I don't know you. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Susanna Kennedy. And Susanna went through a major metamorphosis. And I know your talk is called Fractured to Fabulous. And I hope you'll be sharing, well, I know you don't have much time, so I promise I'll get up soon, speaking to you about how she went through a huge metamorphosis and she came out victorious, a life-threatening one. And so I'm very confident you guys are going to enjoy my friend Susanna Bobana. I call her Susanna Bobana. Please don't call her that. It's just, I get permission. But Susanna, thank you so much for joining us. Really looking forward. Just so you know, we've literally got people from all over the world, my darling.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Banks.
Joy being with the people.
Thank you, Banks. Thank you, Brian. And thank you to all of you that are tuned in right now. I am so excited to be here. I am so humbled to be among such incredible speakers this weekend. It really, really is an absolute honor. And I know that so many truths have been told, but you know, a cliche is a cliche because it's a truth. And so just bear that in mind. There are pearls of wisdom in there, and sometimes repetition equals mastery. And so just remember that. Now, there's a saying that says, the wolf you feed is the wolf that grows. I just want to honor you all for a second. Now, I'm a little bit crazy. I'm just going to warn you, slightly eccentric. I like to keep things in high energy, high vibrations. And so I will ask you to do a couple of crazy things during the show today, during my presentation today. But let's start with that. The wolf you feed is the wolf that grows. Every single one of you that is tuned in right now, I just want to honor you with all of my heart because you are choosing to feed the right wolf. Just by being here today means that you are choosing to feed the right wolf. And so I don't know where you guys are, but give yourselves like a round of applause. Just go, woo, woo, woo. I don't know if any of you watch my show. I've got a talk show called The Thrive Network. But every day, I don't know if you guys know this, at 11 a.m. every day, there is, that is the time in South Africa, 11 a.m., that's GMT +2, that is the time that the most people in the world are awake at the same time. Now, I know in different cities all over the world, people are going out at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and they are singing, and they are blowing vuvuzelas, and they are playing music and thanking all of the essential workers that have kept us going during this difficult time. Well, I do that as well every night at 8. I'm in Cape Town. But what I also do is at 11 a.m. every morning, I howl 3 times, and then I say, thank you, thank you, thank you 3 times. And so I'm going to do that right now with all of you. And I urge you all to join me, because I want you to feel the vibration, the positive vibration that goes through your body when you do this. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Thank you, thank you, thank you. So a very big thank you to all of the essential workers that have kept us going. And when I say that, I don't just mean the doctors and the nurses, but also the guys who collect our rubbish, and the people who have worked tirelessly in our grocery stores. Thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping us going during this difficult time. Tell me how you felt when you did this. I want to see in the chats. Tell me what countries you guys are coming from, and also, did you do that? Did you howl? Just give me a thumbs up if you howled. I see a lot of people clapping their hands. Hello, hello, hello. So lovely to have you all here. So please just give me a thumbs up or a clapping hands, and let me see that you're on the same page as I am. I don't want to take away from the fact that there are so many people at the moment in a lot of pain and anger. And I really do understand that. So please don't take the fact that I'm celebrating the good things to negate from the things that are happening that are very serious and that have been very, very difficult. In fact, something that I've really been dealing with, and I want to know if you guys have been dealing with it as well, is that there has been a surge of old patterns, old wounds that have come up. Has anybody felt the same? Let me know if you guys have experienced that as well. Just give me like a thumbs up or a yes, so that I know that we're all on the same page. This is a good thing, and I will speak about it at some point with you guys, but this is a good thing. It means that when these patterns come up, they come up for healing. And Maxine was amazing. She was so great, because she said that everything happens for a reason. Absolutely everything happens for a reason. And I agree with her 100%. There have been things that have been overwhelmingly painful. As an empath, and I'm sure a lot of you listening right now are empaths as well, you can feel the collective pain. But I want you to think about this as well, because there have been some serious gifts as well, that never in the history of mankind has the world come to a standstill in the way that it has, as a show of consolidarity and love and compassion for all of mankind. I know that there have been challenges, but think about that. The show of love, unified collective love that has been expressed over the last couple of weeks. The amount of people that have gone out of their ways to do things for people that can't afford to carry on, to feed people. It's been absolutely incredible to watch. Now, I know I've said it, that there's been so many truths that have been repeated, but don't you think the woman that you've seen speaking here today, and our lovely hosts, Brian and Robin, have been absolutely fantastic? Just give them a round of applause in the comments there. Just give them some clapping hands, because I think the women have been absolutely brilliant. And I know that there has been some repetition, but sometimes we need to hear things in different ways, and the different ways in which we hear things, it helps us understand it in a different way. And so I urge you to keep listening, listen to all the webinars that you can go to, and just absorb as much as you possibly can. So whenever I'm asked to speak, I'm asked to tell my story. In fact, Robin left me a message this morning saying, Bobana, just tell your story. There is power in just telling your story. And I'm always humbled by this because I know we all have stories, and all of our stories have incredible value and gifts to give people. So it sounds so simple, but the reality is that I suppose my story is one much like many of yours, but one that has been filled with challenges. And I'm really lucky to be alive here, howling in front of you today. Much like Brandon Bayes medically, it is a miracle that I'm standing here today or sitting here today talking to you. Now, I do like to see the bright side of things, guys, and I want you to know that I think that being here and being able to be in front of you right now is an absolute gift. And I wouldn't change ever for the world where what I've been through to get here. As Maxine said, nothing is coincidence. Absolutely everything is a gift. And this was me. This was me 6 years ago. I was basically knocking on death's door. I was somewhere between the living and the dead. That's where I was. And somehow I went through this incredible process of learning, of guidance, and I healed beyond what anyone thought was possible. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I know, I don't know what I've done. Sorry. I know that if I can do it, that so many of you can do it as well. I basically went from that bed, just before that bed, this was me, this crazy celebrity living the high life, going to parties and, being seen on red carpets and interviewing cool people and acting and directing. I had a radio show and I was really, living a life that most people wish that they could live. But the problem was that I was living an illusion. I was not living my truth. I was not in my truth. And deep inside, that illusion was starting to kill me. So I guess I'm asked to tell my story because I went through this fabulous to death's door to a truly integrated, centered, and whole human being who now lives from an authentic place. Now, that's not to say that I don't struggle with things like everyone else does. It's not to say that I am perfect. In fact, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I don't know if any of you are recovering perfectionists, but if you are a recovering perfectionist, please give me a high five in the guests, because in the comments. I now aim for progression, not for perfection, because I was so hard on myself when I was a perfectionist. And I still fall into that sometimes, but then I pull myself out and I pull myself towards myself and I ground myself again. And I start living again from an authentic place of love and grace. And then the bumps come and I handle them in a completely different way. And so this is why I want to share this story with you. If I can do it, you can do it. The first thing to understand is exactly what Maxine said. The universe has your back. Even when you think it doesn't, even when you feel betrayed, even when you feel rejected, realize that rejection is just redirection. There is something better out there for you. If you start reframing your mind and knowing that at every step of the way, just pulling yourself back in. I know somebody was saying that they were broken into a million little pieces. I get it. Keep listening. I was there. I was broken into a million little pieces, and I did not know that I would ever be able to put myself back together. I am with you. You are not alone. So stay with me. Stay with me on this journey. The reality is the universe wants you to heal. It wants you to heal. Its deepest desire is for you to be in a place where you are fully expressed, where you are powerful and happy and well. And so what it does is, if there's something that is out of alignment in you, whether it is on a mental level, an emotional level, on a physical level, it'll poke that thing. It's like having a splinter in your toe. You know, when you have a splinter in your toe, it'll find every corner of a couch. It'll find every corner of a table. And it's like, damn it, why? I just want to like hide that little splinter. I don't want to dig that out. And so you put plasters on it and plasters on it and plasters on it. But the problem is, if you don't get that splinter out, eventually it becomes infected. And eventually you have to deal with it. And this is the same thing that happens in the universe. When we have dis-ease in our soul, in our body, mind, heart connection, the universe will bring situations, people, and circumstances to you so that you see that there is something there that needs to be healed. Let me know if you guys have felt something like that before, because I certainly have, and I didn't want to listen. And so the universe literally had to stop me in my tracks, physically stop me in my tracks. It sent me inside, much like this coronavirus has done to the whole world. The whole world is being sent inside to stop. It's like Mother Earth is going, you're not paying attention. So I'm going to send you inside and I'm going to get you to think about all the things that you have not been wanting to address. And all of us have been forced to take this time to find quiet, to find stillness, to be with ourselves. And some people find that excruciating. How many of you are comfortable just being in your own company? Let me know. I see a lot of thumbs up coming up for people who understand what I'm talking about. How many of you are comfortable just being in your own company? Let me know. Say me or say not me. Let me know what's coming up for you guys. But Mama Earth, the universe, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, angels, whatever it is that you call that higher power, that all that is, that connective energy of love that makes up you and me and this world that we experience, it wants us to heal. So I have a very important question to ask you guys. I want to ask you, what if, just think about this for a second, what if your greatest fear is not that you are inadequate? What if your greatest fear is that you are powerful beyond measure? Think about that for a moment, because, you know, for me, that has been one of my favorite poems for I don't know how long, and I didn't understand why. It comes from a book called A Return to Love from Marianne Williamson, and it was made famous by our lovely Nelson Mandela. But it says, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, powerful, and fabulous? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. So why do we play small? Why do we do that? Why are we brought up to believe that we are not deserving of having it all? Why is it shameful to feel beautiful, sexy, powerful, and strong? Why, if we are confident in ourselves, is it seen as us being full of ourselves? And why are we brought up to hide aspects of ourselves, to become so filled with shame and feel terrible, like we're unattractive, unacceptable, that there are things about us that we should hide, instead of embracing these things and finding the gifts within them? Because I promise you, there are gifts in every single one of them. You can transform your life if you start figuring out how to look at those things, those aspects of yourself, and meet them from a place of love, from a place of gratitude, from a place of acceptance. That is where they will transform. And when you stop trying to hide them away, you transform. You become your light because you're not hiding anything in shadow anymore. We've just moved into the fifth dimension, the new earth. So many people are calling it different things. And it started actually in 2012, but it's really very much in an accelerated space at the moment energetically. And so a lot of people will be bumping into their shadows, will be bumping into those patterns that are repeating themselves over and over again. And you just think, I mean, I know I've done this so many times. You know, Mother Teresa, oh, bless her. I love Mother Teresa, but she says that she had this quote that I absolutely love, where she said, God, I know you only give people what you know they can cope with, but I wish you didn't trust me so much. And I know I have felt like that so many times. I'm sure you have too. Have any of you felt like that? Give me a thumbs up or give me a yes if you have felt like that before. Like sometimes it's just so much. It's like enough now. I've been working on myself forever. Surely it's enough. We're on a journey. We're on a journey of healing. I do have good news for you. This time, if you work on these wounds specifically at this time, there's an accelerated energy of healing. And so you have the ability to move through these wounds much quicker. Here's the challenge, and I want you guys to remember this because it will empower you, is that these wounds will still come up. They'll come up in two different ways. At first, they'll come up so that you can feel where you are on your healing journey. The more you greet them with love and compassion and care, the more they will transform until one day, when they come up, when that pattern comes up, you see it and you're able to move through it. You're able to glide through it without the pain, without the anguish, without the devastation that you previously experienced. Let me know if that sounds good to you, because I promise you it is one of the most liberating things when you can get to that point of actually greeting every aspect of yourself with love and compassion. Life becomes so much easier. Doesn't that sound good? Give me a thumbs up if that sounds good. There's another catch. You have to decide. Guys, you have to decide. Nothing in this world changes unless you change. So you have to decide. Oh, I see. A lot of you are coming up with, it's a big challenge being with yourself and being in your own company. I will definitely answer questions at the end, and I'd love to connect with you, but I've got so much to get through. So let me get this out here. But I can see you guys. I'm seeing you. Don't worry. I'm absolutely seeing you. The one catch, as I said, is that you have to decide what it is that you really want and then go for it. Take action. Take action to become the person you want to be. And remember that the quickest and surest way of changing this world is by changing yourself. So many people are doing the work out there. It's distraction. Do the work in here, and everything outside will transform. Does that make sense? Guys, let me know if that makes sense. It's like a butterfly effect. It's wonderful. It's transformative. So, where am I now? The time is now. I've said this is the fifth dimension, the new earth. The thing I want you guys to really understand is that you are the light. You know, we always look to other people and we think that they are the light. But the reality is, guys, is that you are the light. You Every single one of you is alive right now at this point in history for a very specific reason. Every single one of you that are tuned in now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching a recording of it, you're listening to this, you're watching this at the exact right time. Why do I know this? Because we live in a world of energy. And as I speak, as I create this energy matrix of what is happening right now, it is reaching you at the exact right time. There are no coincidences. Your brilliance, your uniqueness, your unique collection of shadow and light is a gift that only you, no other human being on this planet, only you have. And that specific, unique ray of light is exactly what is needed right now to move us into this new world. So you need to step up. Your time as a caterpillar has come to an end. Your wings are ready. It is time to fly like a butterfly into this new world, into this new space, into this new existence. What will this new world look like for you? And some of you will be asking, but how? How am I going to do this? It's too scary. It's too much. There's too many different options available to me right now. And I know we've had lots of incredible offers here today. Some of them from $200 all the way to $950. All of them have value. Listen to your heart. You will find the ones that work for you. I do invite you, follow everyone on social media. I've got my show Thrive that goes out live on Facebook. You can go and check it out. It's Susanna Kennedy, spelled Susana Kennedy. And I have a talk show. So you guys are welcome to join me on that. I'll put the link so that you guys can join me on that if you'd like in the chat now, so you'll see it there. But do something, and my invitation to you is spend a little bit of money on whatever you do. So there's lots of free stuff, but there is an incredible thing that happens when an energy exchange occurs. And when we spend money on something, it means we are committing to that thing from a different place. So that is my invitation to you, is commit to this process of investing in yourself from that place. However much you can afford, look at the different programs, look at who resonates with you and buy into that program, but make the money exchange, because there is a vibration that happens that is linked to your transformation when that happens, because all money is energy. That's all it is. It's just energy. It's a tool with which we exchange energy. That's all it is. Robin has a brilliant talk on the power of money, and the energy of money. It's definitely worth watching. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you actually a little video now, which gives you a peephole into what I've been up to since I was lying in that bed. Welcome to Thrive, everybody. It is so great to have you here. And we are going out to the whole world, which is really, really exciting. I can see that there are people tuning in from New Zealand, Nigeria, Latvia, Europe, from United States, Tel Aviv, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, Bethlehem. Your entire life will be different if you can find what your purpose is and live in truth with that purpose. All of the work that we actually do on Thrive Network is exactly aimed at raising your vibration. Everything we speak about is taking it to the self, Because when we focus on raising our own individual vibration, that's when the ripple effect goes out and the entire world's vibration will be raised.
Holding the wholeness of your being, all of you, the good, the light, the dark, the confusing, the up, the down, and just hold it.
At the end of the day, it's about choices. It's either we choose to accept this or we choose to fight for a better life. So I chose not to accept my circumstances. I chose to believe that we can become better.
Trust yourself. Trust life. There will be a gift in this if you use it well.
What do you believe? Because if you really believe in this, your behavior will reflect it.
I know a lot of people are not building online businesses, but that doesn't mean you can't build a business that grows, engages, and thrives online.
The sense I get is you are tapping into your intuition. It is growing.
And the big attraction on planet Earth is love. It's the only planet in the cosmos that has that energy. So what keeps us coming back lifetime after lifetime is love.
What we all want is to be happy, but what really makes you happy is a peaceful mind.
To move through trauma, to move through pain, to work with it, to really build authentic resilience so that you can thrive in the world no matter what.
This is to open our minds to what is the vision for ourselves, for our lives, that where do we want to be in the next year.
Two most powerful words in any language are I am, because what follows after I am will shape your life.
And with this rise of beautiful feminine, it's coming into balance, really coming into balance of these two polarities of the masculine and the feminine.
On a global perspective, if we reconnect with our own power and our own authentic divinity, we create an energy network of clear, directive focus.
With all kinds of energy work and chakra work, we want to be able to have the flow of universal energy come directly through our spines and the earth energy to be able to come directly up as well.
What is your spirit and your soul calling you to do right now? What is the highest form of personal transformation you can engage in?
My deepest wish for all of you to love ourselves so fully, so completely, that our cup is brimming over and that we give so freely from a place of pure, authentic love. The whole reason why I started this Thrive is because I do believe that we need to be the light. And if we can focus on being the light and then sharing that light with absolute love to as many people as possible, we can transform the world. Change yourself, change the planet. I give and receive from a place of pure, authentic love. I always remember this one talk that Oprah Winfrey gave, and she said, I am so full of myself that I have more than enough to give away. There will be a pearl of wisdom somewhere in there for you. There always is. I cannot tell you how much I needed to hear that right now. So whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching a recording of it, you are hearing this exact information right now for you. It is valuable for you. So you are so included. So join the Thrive community. You guys can see, my work has been around, my whole life has been around working with the best teachers, the best coaches, the best healers, the best in the world. And it's really accelerated now. But let me go back a step again. Steve Jobs said this quote, and I absolutely loved it. He said, our lives are like dot-to-dot pictures, and we only realize what that picture is going to be when we are at the end of our lives and we can look back. I found that so empowering, and that's why I'm going to actually share that with you, because once you actually realize that your life is a dot-to-dot picture, you can stop when something happens and you can look back and go, how is this serving my greater picture? And when you do that, it is so empowering because the picture comes together and you'll see that every single thing that happens is not a mistake. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing that happens is out of the ordinary, that it's a mistake. Everything is absolutely meant to be. So I'm going to have to be quick because I think I've got like 10 minutes left, but in late 2012, I started getting sick. So I went from this fabulous lifestyle to suddenly having this pain in my wrist, which then went down my arm and then into the rest of my body. And it was more and more painful. At the time I was producing feature films, and I had a radio show, and I was working on a very specific film set, and there was somebody there that he made me so angry. The way he did things, the way he spoke, the way he behaved, the way he handled things made me so angry that my blood literally boiled to the point where I had fever. Now, I'm sure you've heard that saying before, that your blood boils. And I actually experienced what that feels like. Within 6 months, I'd been to every specialist that I could find, every doctor. I'd had blood test after blood test after blood test, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They thought it was some type of rheumatoid arthritis. They thought it was this or that or whatever. And then the one day I went to one of my doctors, and I remember him opening my bloods, and he said, I can't actually tell you what is on this. You need to go to a specialist. And he sent me to a specialist, and I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which I've come to know that a lot of people who do have fibromyalgia, I'm not taking away from you, but a lot of times when they don't know what the diagnosis is for extreme pain in the body, they will call it fibromyalgia because it's just easier than actually digging deeper. And this doctor said to me the only thing that they could do was to put me on Schedule 5 and Schedule 7 painkillers, and that I would just need to learn to cope with the pain. That's what I got told, because there was no cure for what was happening in my life, and nothing could be done. I was put on these medications coming from being a little homeopathic baby. They were overwhelming. I already couldn't move very well, couldn't function very well. I had brain fog, all kinds of things. And so I was really battling. And then I was taking these really strong painkillers. So I was in this fog. And what happened was I became my worst fear. I became a failure, because I'd been brought up to believe that I needed to perform, that I needed to physically contribute in this world, because if I wasn't contributing, then I wasn't of value. How many of you feel the same way? That unless you are contributing, unless you are achieving, unless you are working hard, that you are not of value? Just put your hand up or say me too in the comments so that I know that you guys are with me. What I didn't realize is one of the medications that I'd been put on, if you were battling with depression, could cause acute depression and lead to suicidal tendencies, which is what happened with me. I tried to take my own life. Now, I would love to go into the whole story of the gifts that I learned during that process of getting to that dark, dark, dark place. But I don't have enough time right now, and I promise I will cover them in my course. But I have been there. You are not alone. If you are suffering from depression, if you are suffering from that feeling of being so low, so desperate, feeling like you're a failure, like there is no way out, I have been there before, and I'm telling you this because there is light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I am living proof that there is light at the end of the tunnel. The World Health Organization estimates that there's approximately 1 million people that commit suicide every year. 1 million people. That's a person committing suicide every 40 seconds. They estimate that by the end of this year, 2020, that number will rise to a person committing suicide every 20 seconds. We need to be the light for these people. I don't know if any of you are in that space, but we need to be the light for the people. We need to help people realize that this is not the only way out, that there is help and love and support for people, and there is a way out. find it really interesting that I went through this shift when in 2012, which was the beginning of the fourth to the fifth dimension shift happening. And I just would love to know in the comments if anybody watching experienced a shift in between 2012 and now, because I think that a lot of people that are online are connected to their higher selves and will have experienced the shift. During my time recovering from my near suicide attempt, I remembered that I was abused when I was little. And I was so angry, and I dealt with, for the first time, the fact that I'd lost my virginity forcibly to rape. And so there was all this abuse that kind of came up, and my incredibly wise psychologist said to me, he said, Susanna, he said, as within, so without. Where are you abusive? And I was furious with him. I was like, what? Are you kidding? I've never consciously hurt another living thing ever in my life. And he held strong and he said, where are you abusive? As within, so without. And I was so angry that I went to my room and I really thought about it. And then I will never forget this moment, because it hit me like a ton of bricks in my chest. And I realized that I had been abusing myself more than anybody could ever abuse me in my whole life. The abuse I had experienced when I was little, the rape that I had experienced, was nothing compared to me beating myself up every day. Not good enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not funny enough, just not enough. My thighs aren't firm enough. Everything about me wasn't enough. And I remember that moment so clearly, because it was like myself and my body, it was like they split, and myself looked back at me and said, that's it. I'm not letting you do this to me anymore. It's enough. And in 3 months, I was wheelchair ridden. And shortly afterwards, I was taken into hospital. And I was in that picture, knocking at death's door. It was that quick. It was that quick that I went from there all the way to almost dying. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They did every test under the sun. They did biopsies. I looked like a voodoo doll. I had holes everywhere, and I've got the tiniest little veins. And so it was absolutely awful. But just before I went into hospital, something miraculous happened. I surrendered. And nobody had told me how to surrender, although I have seen it happen before. I just did. The one day I just fell on my knees and I just begged. And I just said, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, universe, I know I've screwed up. I realize that I've messed up. But please, I just know that I've got so much still to do here. If you let me stay, I promise to make it count. But if it's my time to go, I will accept that. And from that moment, I stopped suffering. It was like this bag I'd been carrying my whole life was just taken off my shoulders, and I stopped suffering. I was still in excruciating pain, but I wasn't suffering because I was in complete acceptance of whatever the outcome was going to be. And I mean that honestly. I had no attachment to the outcome. Surrender. Surrender, surrender. Do your best, surrender to the rest. And that's the true definition of surrender. You don't surrender and not do your best. You surrender to the outcome, but you do your absolute best. This was a key healing for me. It was a moment that accelerated my healing, because every bit of information that came my way, I absorbed it, I used it. I was in and out of consciousness, but I was gaining information and I was using it. I also learned the sweet and sour, the beautiful bliss of understanding this too shall pass. The fact that when we are in pain, you can repeat, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and it shall, because it's the only thing we can count on in life, is that time moves. Things will change. And then when you are having a delicious moment in life, something that is beautiful and full and wonderful, hold on to that and cherish it and feel gratitude, because that too shall pass. I was put on an emergency course of chemo. They finally figured out what I had, and they said that it would take between 18 and 24 months to get me into remission. Because of all of the work that I did, I got into remission within 6 months. It was during this time that I truly understood, not from a cognitive level, but truly in my being, in my heart, in my soul, understood the body, mind, heart connection and how important it is to have all of those things in alignment so that we can truly heal. Because once we are in alignment, anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. I want to share so much more with you, but I'm running out of time. I am going to be, there are some scary statistics that I want to share with you, and this is why I feel called to do this work. 70% of people experience the imposter syndrome. The Huffington Post said that 4 out of 5 women have low self-esteem. 4% of women worldwide consider themselves to be beautiful. 4%. 50% of women agree that they are their own worst critic. By the time girls reach the tender age of 17, 78% of them will be unhappy with their bodies. So I have a question for you now. Can you look yourselves in the mirror and say, from a true, authentic, comfortable place, can you greet yourselves with love and say, I love you. I'm proud of who you are. How many of you can do that? Give me a yes if you can. And if you can, that is wonderful. And if you can't, that's okay. There are support systems. There are things that you can do to move you into that place. I now embrace my light. I now embrace every aspect of myself, and I'm able to look myself in the mirror and say those words, and I'm proud of the woman that I've become, not from an egotistical place, but from a humble place, from a place of where I know myself so well. I know my light and my dark. I know my challenges, and I can see them, and I can thank them for the gifts they've brought into my life. But I also know my gifts. And I know that I bring value to this world. I'm telling you this because all of you should feel the same way. And I am not perfect. I'm still on the journey. I'm still learning. So please don't think that I am perfect, because I'm far from it. And think about this as well. There's so much pressure from society saying that you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to this, you're supposed to that, you're supposed to that. Nothing matters besides how you feel about yourself and where you are in life. That is all that matters. We live in a time right now where more so than ever before in the history of the world, you can have it all. There are more systems in place, more coaches, more technology, more knowledge that is readily available to you to assist you in having it all. So go for it. You only get one life in this body, in this consciousness. You only get one chance to make it extraordinary, to make it exceptional. So why not? Dive in, make it juicy, make it delicious. You deserve it. You listening to this right now, whoever you are, you deserve it. I promise you, you do. Robin and I were chatting the other day on Thrive, and he spoke an affirmation that Rob's I've been saying every day. Connected to my soul, I serve the whole. And he was just saying it in a sentence, but I just grabbed it. I was like, Robin, that is the most beautiful affirmation. Connected to my soul, I serve the whole. This is the place that I am operating from. Connected to my soul, I serve the whole. I come to you from a place of service, of true, authentic love, of wanting the best for you, of constantly working on me. I'm the eternal student, always, always learning. But you will always know something more than somebody else. And there's always somebody else that knows more than you. So always be the eternal student, but always, always share your knowledge and empower others where you can, because you can. And by doing both constantly, we will transform the world. I believe this with every inch of my being. As I said, there are so many amazing courses, and I know it's probably so hard for you guys to choose which course to do. What I've decided to do is to make it a no-brainer, because I want to reach as many people as possible. And so normally this course is around, the course that I've put together for you is normally around $100. And I was going to do it at $49 for you guys. Let me get the slide up for you. I was going to do it at $49 for you guys, because I just wanted to get as many people as possible, as empowered as possible, as quickly as possible. And I'm just scrolling through these slides so that I can get the right one up for you. There we go. But so I was going to do an event special of $49, and then I decided, no, I want more of you. I want all of you to do the course with me. And so I'm making it a crazy $27. $27, and I will be sharing over 5 sessions. I will be sharing the things that I have learned on my journey. So 5 things around self-love and empowering yourself by growing that relationship with yourself. 5 things around health and healing. 5 things around spirit and connection. 5 things about mind and happiness. 5 things about wealth, freedom, and purpose. For me, it's not about giving you way too much, but it's about condensing what I give you so that it's actionable and really full and rich, and that you can actually do something straight away and get going with this transformation. Take the step and become the best you can be, because that is my greatest wish for all of you. And if you do decide to join me, I will give you access to the recordings for a year so that you can still watch them again and again and again. I will do a follow-up Q&A. You'll get a workbook. You'll get my reading list. And you'll get access to a talk that I did actually with Robin called The Power of Forgiveness, and how that transformed my life. And then you will also be entered into my private Facebook group, which I touch base with on a weekly basis, and get free subscription to my Thrive membership. So, Robs, are you there? I see you logging on, and so I know that I'm my time is finishing.
Just put that up again, because I'm a bit confused. Is that so you're offering them an offer of $27 per session, and there's 5 sessions?
No. $27 for the whole thing, Banks. For the whole thing.
Smoking there in Cape Town? What you smoking?
I want to reach as many people as possible. I really want to empower as many people as possible. And the sun has gone down here, so that's why my light has disappeared.
No problem. Well, guys, isn't that amazing? I promise you enjoy Susanna's story. I'm actually sorry she didn't have the time to go into more depth, but maybe she will at a later stage, because it truly is an inspiring story. And Susanna, from knowing you personally, I just want to honor you and listening to you speak so articulately during this webinar, and knowing how this is something that you visualize for years. You've had this intention, and today you've actually manifested it. It is your reality. I love watching your video, even though I think I would prefer to hear more of your story, because I love your story. But what I love about watching your video is it just showed how your dream has become reality, and you've literally gone from a very dark, challenging place. I had no idea that every 40 seconds, and now you say every 20 seconds, a suicide is committed. That's quite something. So there really is a lot of work for us to do, and I think why events like this are so important.
And I just want to say quickly to Brian and to Robin, these men, I just want to honor you, for holding this space for all of these women for this weekend, and for all of the listeners, and for me, Both of you have been my mentors in different ways, and for different times and in different aspects, but I honor you from the depth of my being for the work that you're doing, for the work that you continue to do, for the men that you are in this world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of the people watching, so much love. I hope I get to connect with you, but please invest in yourselves in some way or another, please.